Up. Yee! We getting it, boy.
What's good? You know who it is. It's your boy, Jay in the Bay.
Your baller back again. Smells like football season. Yo.
Yeah.
Whoa.
What up, everybody? Welcome to Straight Out of the Bay. It's the end of the season, man. Good stuff for coming through, everybody, man. Whether you're from the Bay, England, 49ers, or worldwide. What up with it, Jay?
What's good? How's everyone doing tonight?
Doing well.
Feeling good. Excited to be here. 10-game win streak. We're going to be rolling into the playoffs. Bring on the Seahawks. Fired up.
Man, let's go. Faithful, rise up. Yee! Let's go, man. Let's get it. Hey, man. Hey, what a time to be a 49er fan. I'm going to just go ahead and say what's up to our man, Raphael, always one of the first ones to come through. Says, what up, Celts Chronicles, Jay in the Bay, Amin the Dream, Bay Area Baller, and everybody. Let's get it. Let's go. What up, Raphael? Hope all is well. All right, man. So, hey, let's just jump straight into it. Hey, it's playoff time. It is freaking playoff time. It's win or go home time. But before we do get started, I have to touch on, man. You know what? Hamlin is back home. What a freaking story, man. Just you know, you guys know me. You know, I'm a guy who believes in prayer, and man, I've seen it throughout the world and throughout the country. And who would have thought, you know, a guy like, 24 years old, you know, from the Buffalo Bills would lightweight unite, a lot of people, man. I just think, you know, sometimes through tragedy, sometimes there's a masterpiece being built in the backgrounds. And hey, man, God's got his hand on that young man to the fullest and that family. And I just think it's absolutely remarkable, man. I was celebrating when I heard he went back home. Just to touch on your guys' thoughts about Hamlin.
It's incredible. It's incredible that he appears to be making a full recovery, and it's definitely great to see. It's great to see the NFL community come together and support this man and his family. So, you know, I'm wishing him, you know, further progress in his recovery. And who cares if I know it's probably his dream to play in the NFL and all that, and that's great. But hopefully, you know, he'll be able to recover and just live a normal life. I think at the end of the day, at least that's what I strive for him and his family, just to live a normal life. And it's great to see him, you know, recover. And if he does play again in the NFL, hey, that's great too. But definitely great that he's back home and he's continuing to further in his progress.
I think Jay said it best right there. I second everything Jay said. I'm just really happy that things are progressing positively, and DeMar is doing pretty well by the latest reports. So, hey, I'm happy about it.
Absolutely, man. It's just, hey, you know, it was last Monday, last Monday.
Mhm.
We were on here talking a whole different tune, and you know, just a lot of shock. You know, initially shock, and then the more the week went on, the more I just like really felt it. And yeah, man, yeah, you know, so it's we can all smile about it now, man. You know, props to Hamlin. I see a few more people in the chat. What up, Bryant? We got Deneen in the house. We got a gang of gang of folks. We got Blue True says, "Happy Victory Monday, y'all. Let's go." Hamlin is back. Buffalo in the hospital, not home yet. Oh man, hey, forgive me for that one. I thought well, it's he's almost there. He's almost there.
Yeah.
He was released. He's on his way.
Yeah.
Still a blessing. Real talk. Real talk. All right, man. So let me get my stuff situated. So if y'all want to touch on the 49ers and Cardinals, just a quick little recap. Either one of y'all could start, and then I'll take it off after y'all. But what were your guys' thoughts? Who gets the game ball? Who gets the game ball versus the Cardinals, and what do we need to sharpen up on? I got some good guesses on what y'all are gonna say, but I'll let you start it off, Baller.
Yeah. Game ball, it's like you're thinking George Kittle, he had 2 touchdowns, but I'm going to go a different route. And I'm going with DeMeco Ryan, defensive coordinator. We don't know how long this man's going to stay a 49er, but I think just with the cumulative performance that the defense has had this year, only giving up 13 points. I mean, the defense was overwhelming. David Blau, quarterback, filling in for the Cardinals. He was overwhelmed. Cardinals put up 13 points. This defense, they were intercepting passes. They're sacking the quarterback. Jordan Willis with a big strip sack. Nick Bosa was a beast per usual. You got guys like T.Y. McGill is now making plays every week. T.Y. McGill. Yeah, rub your belly because McGill's been showing up the last few weeks making big plays week in and week out. The defense, I'm going DeMeco Ryans. And one thing I wanted to mention, fellas, Charvarius Ward, we know how good he's been in coverage. And Demo Lenore, I know we're going to talk, someone's going to be talking about him, but I want to talk about them in a positive light that I don't think gets praised enough. And it's just how good our corners are at tackling and just how physical they are. Because a lot of these teams around the league, you want to get the ball into your weapons' hands in one-on-one situations facing a corner because they feel like their receiver, their running back's going to plow through them, get around them. But with our corners, Diamador Lenore, Charvarius Ward, these dudes are making plays. They're physical in the run game, and all that stems from defensive coordinator DeMeco Ryan. That's who I'm giving my game ball to.
Hey, great insight there. And first, I just want to say what's good to everyone that's in the chat right now, whether you're watching on Kelt's, Bay Area Baller, Jay in the Bay, or the Straight Out of the Bay YouTube channel. We appreciate you guys and gals for coming through tonight and talking about the Niners. But I could go a lot of different directions. Oh, also make sure you hit that like button as well. We appreciate it, and subscribe if you can. A lot of players I feel like stood out. It was good to see Elijah Mitchell back. I think he'll be a great 1-2 punch with him and CMC. He added 5 carries, 55 yards. He scored 2 touchdowns. He had that long run of 37 yards. I thought that he stood out. Mitch Wisnowski, I know he's just a punter. I know that's not, a sexy topic, when we talk about football, but he had 5 punts. 3 of those punts were in the 20-yard line. So obviously that makes it much difficult for the offense, the opposing offense to go down the field and score. So kudos to him. Got to give some love to BP, Brock Purdy. I mean, he was efficient, 15 of 20, right under 200 yards passing, had 3 touchdowns. So a lot of game balls to go around, but those are the guys that stood out. Also, let me mention Tayshaun Gibson. I mean, this guy wasn't even on a roster at the beginning of the season. I think he was on a team's practice squad, and I think he had 2 interceptions yesterday, 2 tackles, and I think he has 5 interceptions on the season. So, hey, kudos to Tayshaun Gibson. He's been playing very well at that safety spot, and the defense has, dare I say, gotten better with him there in certain situations. So those are the guys that stood out to me.
I love it. I love it, man. You guys almost covered it all, Hey, so I'm gonna go ahead and just take Odom. I'm gonna go ahead and take George Odom, man. I believe that was his first pick of the year. I'm pretty sure he had one, which feels like years ago, versus the Vikings in the preseason. Hey, man, he came through. He was trying to duck and dodge and get to the house, man. I was juiced up on that one. I seen a comment, someone say, "Congratulations on hitting 1,000. I appreciate you to the fullest." And then I thought about it afterwards. And I was like, "Hey, that's kind of cool, man. I hit a G the same day that a Uke hit a
The
G for the first
Ayuk
time.
show.
The
Yeah.
Ayuk show. Hey, so me and Ayuk hit a G the first time in the same day ever in our career. So that was pretty dope, man. And then ironically, I hit my hours. I hit my
Nice.
yeah, I hit the hours and the subscribers like in the same day. So it's like
Nice.
I couldn't have planned it any better. I appreciate all the love, all the support. And in the link, there in the description, there is links to all of our channels. So if you're on Jay and the Bay's channel, Bay Area Ballers channel, my channel, go spread the love. You know, I'm pretty sure, you know, I don't know you guys personally yet, but you know, hey, I'm pretty sure you guys are just, you know, just hella good dudes. So any of my fans, man, go show some love, go show some, put some subs down, some likes, all that good stuff. Yeah, man,
Appreciate it.
that was cool. Yeah, no problem, man. Hey, this is what we're doing. This is what we're here for. It's 49ers straight out of the Bay. Let's go. Hey, nah, I appreciate you guys. Appreciate you all. What up, Eric? We see you guys in the house. Martinez, we see y'all. We see y'all. Yeah, man. So Odom is gonna get one of my game balls, and on defense, I haven't even really thought about it, but I almost want to give it to Oren Burks. I know I've seen him out there, but I think the special teams has just done great. I think the special teams has just done phenomenal. I seen a stat where someone said we have, I believe, the best field position on offense and defense.
Mm.
And I think a lot of that probably can or can be a product of the special teams. You know, we put stock into that in the offseason. We upgraded our not just players, but our coaches as well with Brian Snyder. We brought in Brian Snyder and Nick Sorensen, and you know, love to all the coaches. You know, for us to have a season like this, I said it. I know you guys heard me say it a lot of times in the off season, but we replaced 0 rings with, I believe, 5 coaches that we did bring in all have Super Bowl rings. You know, who is it again?
Anthony
eh,
Lynn.
Anthony Lynn, Brian Greasy, Snyder, Sorensen, and the last one's forgetting me.
Was it Hankerson? Does Hankerson have a
It's
ring?
not
Why?
Hankerson.
Not
It's like
Hankerson.
Chum or God, I don't want to mess his name up. But I know there's five coaches, 5 coaches that we brought in with Super Bowl experience as a player and or a coach. And I think it's paying off. I think we're all gelling. You can see that championship pedigree just throughout the whole organization right now. I mean, my God, we're what, 10 straight wins as it happened since what, 97? I
Yep.
think they're 3rd in all time because I know the all-time record, I believe, is 18. You know, and that's playoffs included from one season to the next. Man,
And
just
the first time we swept the division since '97 as well. So that's a huge accomplishment.
man, let's go. Like, how many years is that? That hey, 97, like, man, that's what, 26 years or something
Yeah.
like, you know,
Yeah.
maybe 25, something like that. We got the Ramilia Sports Report in the house. Says, what up, fellas? What's good, Jay in the Bay? Will this finally be the year in Santa Claraville? What up, Ramilia, man? Yeah, man, this is our year. This is our year. Hey, one thing I do want to say, hey, the Rams were they were the story last year. You know what I'm saying? They made the big trade. They got Stafford. They had, you know, Cooper Kupp arguably had one of the best wide receiver seasons in the NFL last year. They had the names. They had the OBJ,
When
the
got Von
Stafford. They
Miller.
just
Yeah.
Yep.
the Von Miller, they were the story of last year, and it feels like the 49ers are the story of this year. You know, when you look at Brock Purdy and CMC and you know, I don't think we bought too many players, you know what I'm saying? But we got a lot of homegrown dudes, man, and it's looking like we could just continue this thing for a while. So, with all that being said, man, I did also see, you know, we got beat on a deep pass again. Lenore was right there in position once again, but he also did get pushed, man,
Yeah.
you know, and all it takes is an inch. If you barely get knocked off, I know you play basketball, baller. Jay, I don't know if you've played sports before, but if you barely get a little bit of momentum. All it takes is a little bit to get over on somebody. And
AJ
you know,
Green is 6'4". Lenore is
yeah,
5'10", so it doesn't take much. It was a jump ball situation. I thought Lenore, he was in good position. I thought that was a poor tackle attempt by Gibson on AJ Green, but that's something I'm sure he'll get better at. But yeah, I mean, I think AJ Green made a play. He's a Hall of Fame player. I think he made a play. It was jump ball, and he did what he had to do. Hey, quick point on the division. You mentioned the Rams division, and then you look at the Cardinals. They they fired Cliff Kingsbury. They might be getting a new GM as well. So it's crazy because they just got extensions within the last, I don't know, year or so. So the Cardinals are obviously, their stock is down. The Rams stock is down. And it's funny, the Seattle Seahawks were playing them in the playoffs. So I just wanted to mention that real quick about the division being undefeated in the division, and also the division like not really living up to expectations. Like at the beginning of the year, we thought this would be one of the best divisions in football. But it turns out, only 2 out of 4 teams were really up to snuff. So just wanted to mention that.
Yeah, props. Hey, like you just said, props to the Seahawks for hanging in there. A lot of us thought they were going to be shooting for Bryce Young this year. And Pete Carroll got those guys trending up. Who would have thought Geno Smith would lightweight or revive his career? And I do want to shout out JJ Watt though before we move on to the season, man. Hey, man, there it is. JJ Watt, a heck of a career, Hall of Famer, multiple defensive player of the year awards, I believe.
Yeah.
And then I know he has 114 sacks. I've seen it on the stats. So, what a great dude. He just seems like he's a super, super caring, loving dude and was a beast on the football field. A great professional. So props to JJ.
I mean, when you think of just quick, when you think of JJ Watt, I think of, one of the best interior defensive linemen we've seen easily over the last 2 decades. When I think of the best interior defensive lineman, to me, it's JJ Watt and Aaron Donald. And he still showed that he could play. I think he had 2 sacks, against us. So he had a hell of a career, like you said, Kelts, first ballot Hall of Famer, no doubt.
No, they were using him on offense. Peak JJ Watt, they were whipping him out in the red zone.
Yeah,
he was catching touchdown. That's just how big time, elite, blue chip athlete JJ Watt was. Yeah. The dude was big time. He was unblockable. And Spencer Burford, who I'm going to talk about in a minute here on our next segment, was having some trouble. JJ Watt was giving the Young Bucks some trouble.
Yeah.
He needed that. He needed those lessons. Hey, you better sharpen it up real quick. Hey, let's do a review of the season and let's rewind time and just kind of pick your guys' brains throughout the season. This was one of the better years I can freaking remember. Just all the way going back to should we trade Debo, all the way to the Trey versus Jimmy, to just all the outside noise to the pick 8 in versus the Broncos, the almost pick 8, where it was either going to be it's the safety or the pick 6. So who said that? Someone on Twitter, I got to remember who. Sersky. Sersky came up with the pick 8. Man, that was pretty comical. But we done been through it. I cannot ever remember seeing a third stringer, and I hate to even say that anymore because he ain't no third stringer. He just isn't. But I've never seen, once upon a time he was a few weeks back, but Brock Purdy and the CMC trade, there's just so many things that happened through this year. Me talking all the crap about Kyle Shanahan, I feel like, I never want to say anything bad about the man again, but at the same time, I just hope and pray we don't see no 10-point, 14-point meltdown in the playoffs or anything like that. I don't think we will, but at the same time, hey man, back-to-back really good seasons. What's your guys's, biggest positives or maybe biggest negatives? Something you maybe want to just completely forget and things that you will probably remember for a long time. We'll start with you, Baller.
Yeah. This front office has guts. That's the first thing that's going to come to mind, because this team started out 3-4. I believe they were 3-3 when they made the trade to go get Christian McCaffrey. That's a 3-3. You're a 500 football team that says, look, yes, we are really talented, but we need to bolster this roster in some way. We need a playmaker. And they went and got arguably a top 3, top 5 running back in the game in McCaffrey, who's just been phenomenal. He's been this safety blanket, where you can just check it down to him, and he's going to make the first guy miss. He's going to get 6, 7, 8 yards on these checkdowns. You can run him all over the field. It feels like McCaffrey's vision has gotten better as, these 6 or 7 games have went on. Now 11 games that have gone on. McCaffrey keeps getting better and better. He's seeing the whole. His vision's improved, and that was a big time move by this front office. Something I'll never forget. That's storyline 1. I got to give you storyline 2. You touched on it, Kelts. It's Brock Purdy, the 7th round draft pick, coming in, playing sensational football. He's got this aggressive style, but yet he's not making mistakes. Really, I think it's what Kyle Shanahan has been looking for.
Straight baller. He's a baller,
He's a baller.
bro. Yeah, he is.
When I think of the season, I think of a few different things. I think of Talanoa Hufanga getting off to a pretty hot start. A 5th round draft pick out of SC. I just thought he would be like an elite or ace special teams guy, but he turned out to be a pretty good starter. And his first season starting, he got a Pro Bowl nomination, so that's impeccable. Obviously, BayAreaBaller mentioned trading for CMC. I think that'll probably go down. And I know I could be prisoner of the moment or whatever, but that's probably one of the greatest in-season trades in 49er history. When you look at what CMC brings to the table in the rushing and receiving game, he opens up everything for every other offensive player on the roster. So hell of a trade, and I'm glad we still have CMC for multiple years down the road. Getting Mooney Ward, I think that was excellent signing by John Lynch, and John Lynch and his staff had several notable signings in the offseason, but Mooney Ward has been elite, no doubt, as BayAreaBaller mentioned, being a great tackler and basically putting clamps on the opposing team's best wide receiver. So I thought that was a huge move, especially with Mosley getting hurt, Jason Verrett getting hurt. Where would we be without Mooney Ward? So I think that was a huge signing. And I'll mention the offensive line. Last year, we had Pro Bowl caliber Lincoln Tomlinson. He was an Iron Man, started all 5 years with us. He took the bag with the Jets. I don't blame him. We had Alex Mack last year, and then coming into camp this year, we had Burford. We had and Banks had a lot to prove. Banks didn't really see any significant snaps last year. He was a 2nd round pick that nobody wanted, and he's turned into a pretty good left guard. So I thought that the offensive line really came into their own. They really got better. Jake Brendel was starting at center. There's a lot of it was just a lot of uncertainty, not a lack of experience right there at that offensive line outside of McGlinchey and Williams. But I thought, the triple Bs, I thought they played pretty well. I thought they gelled. And that's what I'll remember this season for. Huff, CMC, of course, Brock, Mooney Ward, the great defense, and then this offensive line really gelling and, playing as a unit.
Hey, great minds think alike, because as soon as you said, what'd you say, triple
Bs?
Triple B, because it was a while back. I said the B line, in the off season. I was like, hey man, we forming that B line right there, and hey man, tremendous job, man. Tremendous job. All those guys, I had faith in the off season that they would step up along with Hufanga. I'm always rooting for the underdog. So there's probably not an underdog on the 49ers that I wasn't like, watch, he's going to elevate, you know what I'm saying? And so, hey, I want to give a shout out to the backup defensive tackles, man, because we got I don't think any of us thought we would have the #1 defense in the NFL. I don't know where the statistics stand right now. But hey, man, I think that was a little bit better than a lot of us expected. And then that's without Kinlaw, that's without Armstead through majority of the year. For Hassan Ridgeway to step up, Givens to step up, a few other guys I know that's in there that Baller probably knows all their names.
Yes,
Spence,
T.Y.
T.Y.
McGill.
who was
McGill. Yeah.
Yeah.
T.Y. McGill, man, I love the sack dance. I don't got the rhythm like T.Y. McGill, but when I seen he did the Armstead with the sauce on it, bro. He was flowing like fluid, and I was like, yeah, get it, Big Daddy. That's hey, keep eating, let's go. So man, just props to the whole team, just up and down from John. Man, dare I say Jed York?
Mm.
You know, if Jed York never gave, Shanahan and John Lynch these guys extensions, and a lot of it feels like Jed York is only brought up if it's negativity. But props to Jed York for giving these guys long extensions to allow them to lay the roots, lay the thing. They've made a whole bunch of bad picks, but they've always backed it up with the freaking great one. Whether it's our bread and butter is in that 4th and 5th and 6th round, and we got this team stacked, y'all, and it's not just for 1 year, Ramelia. Longevity in our future. I had to throw that up in there. And yeah, hey, we see you, Brian Cope. I wanted to say what's up to Bashar. I seen him in the chat a minute ago. We got Boots. We got David Villa in the house. Says, what's up, faithfuls and fellas? Niners on fire. Let's keep it going all the way, amigos. Woo! Let's go. Let's get it.
Hey, got to give props to Kyle Shanahan as well.
Real talk.
I mean, it was a roller coaster type season. When I think about this season, also, I just think like this is life. Like you're going to go through ups and downs in life. You're going to get knocked on your ass. You're going to get things aren't going to go your way. You might feel sorry for yourself. Like, why is this happening to me? And starting the season 3 and 4, losing to Denver, losing to Chicago. And he kept the team together. Obviously, the CMC trade was huge. That I think that completely turned the season around. And of course, Brock Purdy, the way he's playing. But you got to give credit to the head man in charge. Twitter was Twitter was an interesting place when we were 3 and 4. That's for sure. People saying, fire Shanahan, put DeMeco Ryans as head coach. Where are those people now? And I know it's a week to week NFL. I know we've only got 18 games now, but 17 games, excuse me, but it's a it's a week to week league. Fans short for fanatics, but you got to stay the course, and I think Shanahan did that. And I definitely got to give him credit. He deserved props for the turnaround and for getting this team to the 2nd seed, 10-game winning streak. So definitely got to give props to Kyle for sure.
Real talk. Anything else you wanted to touch on? I see a Super Bowl prediction if one of y'all want to read that one.
Looks like Shea Martinez. He has a Super Bowl prediction: 49ers 41, Bengals 24. Interesting prediction.
It's a lot of points.
24. I love it. Hey, I could see it, man. I don't or excuse me. Yeah, my bad. But anyways, tripped myself up on that one. But anyways, Purdy the truth. We see you, David. Yeah, man. You got any other final thoughts, my man Baller, on the season?
I mean, it's been a fun year. It's been a really fun year to watch this team. And when we were 3 and 4, Shanahan did it back-to-back years. We started out slow last year as well. So Shanahan knows how to galvanize this team and turn the season around. It's like I'm done questioning Shanahan. Yeah.
I've learned a lot this year. I've learned a lot. We got Melissa in the house. Purdy winning the Super Bowl would be the best storyline. Hey, that'd be something. Hey, none of us could have written it up any better, man. And I got a pretty dang good imagination, and I love these kind of things that's happening, and it's happening with our team, man. I couldn't have written it up any freaking better. It's a Hollywood script. Yeah, man, and it just feels right though too. It feels cool, man. It's not like, we went out and grabbed a Super Bowl winning quarterback. This dude is Mr. Irrelevant. He's always going to have that tag to him, so it is what it is. But, he's proved to be well more than relevant. I actually seen you pull a stat out, Baller. how his numbers, since he's been, been a starter, are dead on with Patrick Mahomes. And people are talking about, hey, I've said it myself. He looks like a mini Mahomes to me. He has the composure of a Joe Montana, and if you say those things, you're not lying. I
But
mean,
let me cite it. Let me cite it, Kelch, while we're on the topic. Okay, this is Mahomes yards per attempt, 8.1. Completion percentage. We're talking Mahomes, 67.1. Quarterback rating, 105.2. Now let's switch it to Brock Purdy. Yards per attempt, same thing, 8.1. Completion percentage, same exact completion percentage, 67.1. And then the QB rating is actually 2 points higher than Patrick Mahomes at 107.3. So, and those are just stats, but I'm more of an eyeball test guy where I want to see what's going on the field. What do my eyes tell me, right? And my eyes tell me Brock Purdy's doing a damn good job.
Yes, sir. Hey, your eyes aren't lying, man, because that man, he does not look jittery. He does not look phased. He's a baller, bro. He's doing the dang. It's like, man, I haven't seen him, and I'm sure he will make a boneheaded play at some point in time. I know a couple of interceptions were dropped. You know what I'm saying? But he even is getting lucky in the right times. Like, it's like, so, all right, there's an it factor that I believe is just undetectable. Guys like Joe Montana, Terry Bradshaw, Tom Brady, like, just to name three of them, all those guys won, 3 Super Bowls, 4 Super Bowls, how many ever Tom got, 7 or whatever it is. But they have that it factor. It's that it factor that we were all hoping and waiting to see if Jimmy would ever have it, and he never had the it factor.
It's
and
the intangibles.
when you do see those intangibles of being able to detect the pocket, when you have the pocket awareness, and you not only have the athleticism to get out of it, but you're already 3 steps ahead of what you're gonna like. He manipulates the pocket. He like already sees, okay, I see him coming this way. I'm gonna step this way. He moves that way. I'm going this way. I'm gonna hit yada yada because I know he's gonna be there. He's locked in, and Jimmy never had that. Jimmy never had that. Hey, props to Jimmy though too. Because hey, if he didn't win the games that he won, who knows where we would be right now. So
Yeah.
At the same time, props to Jimmy.
And I want to say real quick that Brock Purdy, dare I say, has revived George Kittle's career.
Great point.
A popular YouTuber said, "Hey, we should trade Kittle, get rid of this guy." In Kittle's first 9 games this year, he only had 4 touchdowns. In his last 4 games, he's had 7 touchdowns. So clearly, the Brock Purdy Kittle connection is legit. And I just think BP he's making everyone around him better. And I really don't want to talk about number 10 because I feel like I'm taking away from BP, and I don't really want to compare the two. I mean, right now, but there's no doubt, appreciate what 10 did for sure. But this is BP's team right now. And, Kittle he's looked like, obviously we appreciate what he does in the run game and blocking and things like that, but he looks revived. Like, I don't know who this killer is right now.
He's having fun.
It continues though. Yeah, no, he's having fun out there.
Having fun again. He's having fun again. This might be the best stretch in his career. And it's just amazing. Every turn you look, as an entire team, as a defense, coaches, like, man, I haven't been this excited. There was a special feeling last year during that 7-2 run, and this is that feeling enhanced, magnified to the fullest. Hey man, so we're gonna go ahead and hop into awards. There are quite a few awards that potentially could be going to 49ers, and I just want to realistically hear who you think might get him. We got Andre in the house. What up, my man? Good stuff for coming through. Mr. Joe. Good stuff for coming through to the both of y'all. Welcome the 49ers straight out of the Bay. Yeah. Hey, so awards, man. We got Brock Purdy could be rookie of the year. John Lynch could be executive of the year. Shanahan coach of the year. CMC comeback player of the year. Bosa defensive player of the year. I mean, to me, I'm kind of looking at it like, why why wouldn't any one of these be realistic? It just feels like, I mean, the most realistic, maybe Bosa.
Bosa's got it locked up.
Bosa,
Bosa's got defensive
that
player of the
better
year
be.
locked
Hey,
up.
if something
That's a done
happens,
deal.
if something happens, there's a riot, especially if it goes to a Dallas Cowboy. If something happens and it
No
goes
chance.
to America's team, man, there's gonna be who knows? Hopefully Shanahan, if something like that happened, hopefully Shanahan takes it out on the league and just goes back to back to back Super Bowls.
Bosa should have won comeback player of the year last year. Who won?
Yeah.
Did Burrow win it? Did Burrow win it? They want to give it to the quarterback.
Yeah, Burrow. Yeah, of course. I mean, Burrow, you tear
Bosa was coming off a knee, and he was a monster last season.
He should have gotten more recognition at least. I don't even think he got I don't want to mess up. I don't think
he got a first place vote. Yeah, I don't think he got a first place vote.
How? And then I did research before on who all, man, I went detective status. Who all works for ESPN? Who all works for certain organizations? And I was trying to see how the playing field was. How many are in LA? How many are in the East Coast? And it's a large number from like Philadelphia and on to the East, where they have a large portion of,
the bias.
The bias is real. It really is real. It wasn't. Yeah, I wanted to make sure before I started speaking on it. I wanted to make sure it was real, and it's pretty real. So there's going to always be that East Coast bias, regardless. Hey, we own the West. You come Colorado and on, and hey, the 49ers are worldwide, man. We got fans everywhere, and we travel deeper than anybody, and we're coming for it. We're coming for it. So I just wanted to get your guys' thoughts besides Bosa, maybe. Who do you think has a legitimate shot of getting an award out of the other four guys?
I think Lynch, executive of the year, he should definitely get some votes. I know the Eagles executive, Howie Roseman, will probably get a lot of votes because he brought on a lot of talent to the Eagles, and there's no doubt they're a talented team. But I mean, the CMC trade, I mean, come on. I mean, like, if that doesn't put you over the top, I don't know what else Lynch can do, but he definitely should be in serious consideration. Also with the draft picks, obviously we passed up on Brock Purdy, but every other team did. But that's a huge get. No one was expecting anything from him. I didn't even think he'd make the roster coming out of training camp. So the draft picks, the signings, I think Lynch should definitely be heavy consideration for executive of the year.
Real talk.
Yeah, I'm with you, Jay. Give John Lynch executive of the year. And here's the thing. It also feels like Kyle Shanahan is very deserving of coach of the year, doing what he's done with Brock Purdy, just where he's had this team, 10-game win streak to close out the regular season. But here's the thing. I don't think the NFL would give the 49ers the clean sweep of the coach of the year and the executive. There are a lot of talented coaches and executives throughout the league doing a good job. So I feel like it's one or the other. So that's why I'm leaning John Lynch. I know Lynch did win it in 2019, but I looked back at the history of the executive award. Bill Polian won the thing like 4 times. So, they're not afraid to give repeat votes to guys who have won it. So I'm going Lynch, and I do feel like Brock Purdy deserves serious consideration. Me and Jay were talking a little bit on Twitter before the game, and I said, look, if he has a big game today, this is before the Cardinals game. If he has a big game, I feel like he could thrust himself into contention. He had 3 touchdowns. So I'd say he played pretty darn good.
Yeah.
I know there are a couple rookies, one of them who we're going to face, and we're going to talk about him when we get to the Seahawks preview. But Kenneth Walker has had a good season for the Seahawks, rushed for over 1,000 yards, real talented guy. And, Garrett Wilson, what he did for the Jets this year, and, the quarterback carousel they were going through, he had over 1,000 yards. So I think Brock Purdy might be on the outside looking in, but me personally, yes, I am biased. Brock Purdy deserves serious consideration for that. And then comeback player of the year, I don't know what the heck they're going to do with comeback. Yak McCaffrey probably deserves that, but I thought Bosa deserved it last year, so I don't know about that.
Who else? Who else? I have no idea who else would be in consideration. Geno, maybe Geno. Geno might be a consideration for comeback player.
I just wanted to push back a little bit on Shanahan being head coach of the year. I don't know. I have a feeling that usually they give that award to coaches who kind of like come out of nowhere. And I think expectations were already pretty high for the Niners. I think one huge kudos to Shanahan is still thriving or actually being better with the third string quarterback and Mr. Irrelevant. I think that's something that will definitely add to his, head coach of the year, candidacy. But yeah, I think I think Sirianni probably might get it more consideration. Obviously,
Sirianni, Daboll, those are feel like the hot names.
They're on the East Coast. That's one thing. We know that the East Coast bias is real, and no one really thought that Jalen Hurts would be a franchise quarterback. And obviously, he's proven he had a hell of a year. So I think I would love to see Shanahan win it, but I would be surprised, honestly.
Yeah, I'm just like, when I heard Baller saying, hey, they're going to give it to one or the other, I'm just like, man, this is BS, man. Just give it to, why does that always got to play a factor? I guess it's at the beginning, middle, and end of the day, it's a business. So who knows why they do what they do, but I know they got it locked in.
Even the gum chewer up in Seattle, I think he could get consideration. No one thought that the Seahawks would be in the playoffs.
That's true.
I thought they were tanking.
There's a lot of good a lot of good candidates for sure. Yeah. But Shanahan should definitely get consideration. I see Melissa said, we'll just hop into the next topic. Melissa was talking about that beating a team 3 times in 1 year. Yeah, last year was way different versus the Rams. Our team is a lot better this year, I believe. Hey, a quick question. Can y'all hear my dog in the background?
No.
All right, cool. He's over here whining his head off. He locked himself in the room, but you're trapped in here with me, dude. You're trapped. All right, yeah, but hey, man, 3 times a year, hey, we're getting it done. It would be a catastrophic, and I don't even want to say it, but it would be catastrophic if we lost to Seattle at Levi's Stadium. Could y'all? I don't want y'all to imagine, but could you? Oh my God, bro. We better not lose, and that's
especially knowing that the 49ers are the better team.
Oh yeah, we're the better team. Just all around every angle. I don't care about no 3-year thing. I know the 49ers don't. In that they are locked in, loaded. Lock Purdy. Let's freaking go. We're coming from all angles. Even special teams, man, is good as gold. That's one person we haven't mentioned today. I know Robbie missed on a couple this year, but man, we're coming through as good as gold. And yeah, man, Seattle. I think we're going to see like the first matchup, but even enhanced. Of course, that was a catastrophic moment. Twice I said that, but that was just a devastating moment seeing that with Trey. And Jimmy obviously stepped in, hit Dwelly, yada yada yada. We've seen how it, but I think we're gonna see that kind of a score, maybe even more though. But it was 27-7, I believe. And I'm thinking, and they got their touchdown on a blocked field goal, I think it was. So I don't even think they scored. And then the refs helped them out a lot up in Seattle. So that could have been a lot worse. That was Thursday night. Who knows if they wanted to keep it close and whatnot. I think we're going to dismantle them. I think we're going to pummel them. And like Jay in the Bay likes to say, I think we're going to beat the brakes off of the freaking Seahawks. Hey, boy, we're about to mollywop them something tough like, coming through, like I said, from all angles. So go ahead, Jay.
I think honestly it's going to be close, like in the first quarter, maybe second quarter. The 49ers have kind of started slow. I don't know about you guys, but the Cardinals game, there wasn't that much juice involved in that game, if you know what I mean. Like once the Giants said, hey, we're going to rest our starters, and you knew that Jalen Hurts was starting for the Eagles, you kind of knew the Eagles were going to win that game. So the Niners really didn't have much to play for against the Cardinals. But obviously it's a different story versus Seattle. But I think we've seen the last few games where, a team or the opposing team could have a successful first drive against us, but as long as we don't allow that to continue, we'll be fine. But I think the key, I can get into the keys right now, or we're going to get into that a little bit later.
Hey, shoot for it, bro. Shoot
It's going to be winning at the line of scrimmage. I think that's going to be key in this game. I mean, if you look at the Seahawks, the last 2 games they've played us, they haven't really been able to run the ball. I think they only have like 88 rushing yards total in the last 2 games. So basically, you got to force Geno to beat you. And Geno, he's been efficient, but he hasn't really. He's only thrown 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 435 yards the past 2 games. So that's not going to beat the 49ers, I don't think, or any playoff team. And you look at our running game versus Seattle defense, which they do struggle stopping the run. We've had over 300 rushing yards in 2 games, and obviously we've used multiple backs. So I think the keys for the game are simple. Obviously, don't turn the ball over, force Geno to beat you, and then just run the ball down the throat. And it should be a fairly easy game, I think, for the Niners. I think the Seahawks have some playmakers in the secondary for sure. They've drafted well, but I just don't think it's going to be enough. I don't think Geno is going to beat the Niners at Levi's. I just don't see that happening.
The 49ers are the better football team, flat out. But I feel like there is a way the Seahawks can hang in this game, and that would be unideal and ideal for the 49ers. So I spoke about Kenneth Walker earlier. Kenneth Walker is a supremely talented running back. He had over 100 yards last week. They gave Kenneth Walker the ball 29 times in that must-win game against the Rams last week. So that tells you. Now, the 49ers, on the other hand, as we know, great defense, but #1 rated run defense in the NFL. So we have to keep that up because the Seahawks and Pete Carroll, historically, it's just a run-first team. They want to run the ball. So we need to be on our P's and Q's, continue to shut down the run, and just do what we've been doing all season, because we've been holding opposing teams to like 60, 65 rushing yards on average. I mean, the rush defense has been phenomenal. But so let me tell you, the Seahawks are going to try to run the ball. But then what they're also going to do is I expect them to take some deep shots down the field. And one of my keys of the game is limit the big plays. Geno's going to launch a couple balls deep to DK Metcalf. I expect it's going to be, unless Charvarius Ward is following Metcalf, which he did a bit on that Thursday night game. Charvarius Ward, he doesn't follow 100% of the time. D'Amico seems to implement that strategically. Occasionally, Ward will follow around. But I look for the Seahawks try to get Metcalf one-on-one with Demo, and they're going to take some shots down the field. So we got to limit the big plays and also limit the pass interferences, right? Because when that ball's in the air, our guys can, even Charvarius Ward, Demo and Ward can both be a little overly physical and susceptible to some penalties on occasion. And that it didn't crop up. They weren't back-breaking penalties that we had from them this year, but it's just something in a one-game scenario. If you have a couple of these big PIs that, get you 40, 50-yard chunk yardage down the field, those can be game changers. So stop the run, limit the explosives, and then, like Jay said, take care of the ball on offense. If we're limiting the turnovers, then Niners are going to win this game.
Great points, Baller, especially the turnovers. How efficient has Purdy been? I was looking at some stats, and last year I believe we were +4 on turnover differential, and this year we're +16. So it matters. We are playing efficient. Someone just threw in Singh just threw in a great stat saying the Seattle Seahawks defense is giving up, they're 31st on giving up yak yards. And I just had flashbacks to George Kittle, going off on him in the last game. But you made another great point, Eric, was I went back and watched both Seattle games a couple times, just the main plays and stuff. And I did not see them go deep too often. I can't really remember, just my memory. I don't think they went deep too often. But I was thinking as I was watching those 2 games, Pete Carroll's holding on to that. These guys have been facing each other. And these guys do that. These guys are playing chess to the fullest. And he's not going to show that if he knew there was a chance. And look, by chance, we're facing each other in the playoffs. I just think that, first of all, this is one of the biggest rivalries, in my opinion. I know LA has come in the past couple of years and whatnot, And then besides our division, you got Dallas and Green Bay, in my opinion, are the biggest rivals. But the Seahawks, I think they're the biggest rival, man. Still one of the biggest ones. And Pete Carroll and Shanahan, they know each other. So just like Shanahan's not going to show certain cards, Pete isn't either. So I think you got a good point on the deep ball. And typically you would see Lockett or Metcalf, get a couple shots a game, and I can't remember them even trying it really once on us both games. So I expect to see it. Go ahead, Jay.
I was just gonna say the Seahawks. I think they've only scored one touchdown versus us in the past two games, and I think in order to really throw the ball deep, which I agree with Bay Area Baller, I think it's something that they will do. And Demo Lenore, he's kind of there's been some opportunities there for him to make some plays, and he hasn't always done that. So I agree with Bay Area Baller. Definitely got to watch. You obviously got to test it out. Some refs, they'll let you be more physical than others. That's something we'll find out within the first few drives on either side of the ball. But in order for Geno to really throw deep, he's got to have time to throw. And I don't think he's going to have that much time to throw with the horses we have on the defensive line. So I think it's going to be a long day for the Seahawks at Levi's.
Yeah. And that one touchdown they did score, I think it was on a 15-yard pass or something like that. It was at the end of the game in the last game we played them. So another great point by you, Jay, by you as well, Eric. All right, man. So if y'all got anything else for the 49ers versus Seahawks, I personally think, like I said previously, we're about to beat the brakes off of them. And I can't wait. We better. But if it's close, it's close. A dub is a dub. I hope I'm not getting too ahead of myself. But yeah, it's win or go home time now. It's win or go home time.
Like everyone said, I think we're clearly the better team. I don't really see any player on their roster. I mean, you could argue their wide receivers, there might be a little bit better, but I think we just have more depth at pretty much every position. And yeah, the Seahawks are a talented team. I didn't expect them to be a playoff team. But I can't wait until Sunday. But I just want to give a huge shout out to everyone that's in the chat. We see everyone's comments, like David. We have Singh. Deneen has been in the chat a lot, and we have a few super chats. Not sure which channel it's on, but I will just go ahead and read them. Also, David's in here as well. 49ers first takes hot diggity dog. He says, playoffs. We talking about playoffs. LOL, of course. Also, KD, hot diggity dog, man. Good to see you in here tonight. He says, hope you all had a wonderful Monday, my 49ers family. Absolutely. Hope you all had a wonderful weekend as well. And I gotta say, what's good to David V. Bryant's in the building. We have Van. So appreciate everyone tuning in tonight.
Yes, sir. Hey, just like Jay said, I couldn't have said it any better myself, man. We appreciate it. You guys always show love and support. And, our channels would be nothing without the faithful, man. It all works hand in hand. And there's so many times where you guys like run, whenever I don't have a guest and I'm running a show, you guys run my show. If I didn't have y'all in the chat and stuff, I wouldn't even have it would be hard to just be sitting there talking to, the camera all by myself. It'd be kind of strange and weird at the same time. So we appreciate y'all. Real talk.
Absolutely.
What up, Aaron? What up, David V? Hey, just like Jay said, man, what up to everybody? There's a lot of people I've never seen before, and maybe vice versa. I'm not sure, but hey, the link is in the description. Go ahead and shoot everybody in, and Amin the Dream. Amin the Dream, he is also a part of 49ers straight out of the Bay. He is not feeling well tonight. So prayers out to Amin to get better, and his link is also in the description. So go show some love to Amin the Dream as well, man. All right, so I wanted to get your guys' thoughts, man. Hey, let's talk. You know what? Hey, we got Super Bowl aspirations, and I'm not going to sit here and I love to wonder. I love to imagine, you know what I'm saying? And so I do look ahead. I definitely look ahead when it comes to football. Me personally, I love to stay in the moment. But when it comes to football, I like to look ahead. Who is the biggest threat, man? I mean, of course, we all know it's the Chiefs, the Bills, the Bengals, the Eagles, the 49ers. I feel like it's those 5 teams without a doubt. And so I'm kind of my vision is kind of like this. Another thing I wanted to talk about along with the biggest threat. I also want to ask, what would be a disappointment? I kind of feel like Brock Purdy feels like he's better than Jimmy Garoppolo. So when I say that, I'm kind of like, I feel like we should at least get to the NFC Championship game with this team. I just feel like for me personally, it feels like it would be a disappointment. It feels like it would just, it's going to be a disappointment if we lose in any, no matter what, NFC Championship, Super Bowl, divisional round. You just never know in this NFL. Wild stuff can happen. It'll be a disappointment. But what the question I'm really asking is, what would you consider like a disappointment as far as like Brock Purdy or like, how am I really trying to word this? Like, oh man, that just, you know, we coulda, shoulda, woulda. Oh, Shanahan, you know, is back on the hot seat or just something like that. What would you guys, you know, who's the biggest threat and what would you really, what would have to happen for you to be like, ah, that was just a failure?
Anything less than a Super Bowl victory is going to be disappointing, Celts, because I
Absolutely.
mean, this team's been so close, feels like so many times. So anything less than a Super Bowl is going to be disappointing. The biggest threat, first off, I got to say, every team you play in the playoffs is a threat, in my opinion. Now, the biggest threat, I'm looking squarely at the NFC first and foremost, and I'm looking at the Eagles. I'm not getting ahead of myself and looking at the Super Bowl, but I feel like the Eagles, you know, they're the 49ers and the Eagles, that's the top tier in the NFC. I feel like that's pretty clear. And Philly's got that mobile quarterback. We know mobile quarterbacks have given the 49ers some problems. You know, we can look back as recently as Jared Stidham and the Raiders when they went combined for over 500 total yards against the 49ers. Stidham had some rushes in that game where, you know, he broke contain, made a throw, or broke contain, scrambled for a first down. And so the Eagles, Jalen Hurts is even way more mobile than Jared Stidham. So I'm looking at the Eagles. You know, obviously we know the talented wide receivers they have. AJ Brown is a monster. He's someone he's a very physical wide receiver, and he puts a lot of pressure on officials. Are you going to call offensive PI? Well, it's just a little forearm. It's like, no, they're not going to call it. So he gets away with some of this physicality downfield. Devontae Smith is, you know, the Heisman winner, former Heisman winner, supremely talented, great route runner. Then they got their tight end back, Dallas Goedert. You know, they got weapons. You know, 49ers got weapons all over. But the Eagles also got some weapons. You know, Miles Sanders coming out of the backfield. I don't know how he got the Pro Bowl nod ahead of Christian McCaffrey. Those voters weren't paying attention. But so biggest threat, I'm looking at the Eagles.
Hey, I just want to mention, of course, we are a 49er channel, but we are in the NFC West. So we do have other content creators that come in, like Remilia Sports Report. Sometimes Payo comes in. I just want to say, appreciate you, Sejan, for coming in. I know you're a Seahawks fan, and he always comes to my channel, Jay in the Bay. So I appreciate you coming here and looking forward to the game this Sunday for sure. But just want to say appreciate your support and every other fan base who wants to come in and just say what's up and be respectful in the chat. So I just wanted to mention that. Biggest threat is the 49ers themselves. It's the man in the mirror. I don't think there's any team that can really beat us when we play our game. I think, you know, physical on both sides of the ball. I think we have, you know, talented. We have Pro Bowl, all pro caliber players at every level, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I know there are other talented teams, but I'm going to take that approach. The biggest threat to the Niners is themselves. That's what it is. If we come out the right game plan, we execute like we know we can. I just don't think there's a team that can really stop us. Will there be some close games in the playoffs? Absolutely. But I think if we come in with our game plan and execute, I think we'll be just fine. I think we've seen over the last 6 games that Brock Purdy has kind of, dare I say, you know, uplifted this team, uplifted the morale of this team. And I think we're actually better with
and
Brock.
The fan base.
And the fan base. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Fan base love them some Brock. Now, as far as disappointment for the season, I would have to agree. You know, it is crazy that a third string quarterback, a rookie, you know, winning a Super Bowl, that is a crazy, like, Cinderella type story. But, expectations are high. This isn't CYO. This isn't, the NBA G League. This isn't, the XFL. This is the pros, man. This is the NFL. So, you just got to continue to perform and execute. So, yeah, anything less than a Super Bowl victory, I would be disappointed as well, just like Eric.
Yeah, man, I'm right there with y'all, man. Right there with y'all. 49ers breakdown, my man Aaron. Good stuff for coming through. It's been a long time. Seeing you the other day in the comments and stuff. I hope all is well. Yeah, man, we need your breakdowns, Aaron, man. No pressure, man. Hey, you was coming in hot in the off season, man. We need some breakdowns. It's time. But if you got other life stuff going on, hey, I'm already knowing. Real talk. Good to see you though. Who else? We got Dan in the house. I don't know if he was already in the chat, but what's up? Yee.
What's good?
What's up? All right, man. So I think that's about it. 10 straight dubs. Like we said earlier, man. I mean, amazing. 1997, 10 straight dubs. And we got a Uke. We got a Uke that got the G. That was outstanding. His emergence and his he just continues to evolve. You can see it mentally, spiritually, physically. That man is leveling up. He had the most receptions that he's had in his career, I believe, yards, touchdowns. And it just feels like it feels like it's just the beginning for Ayuk. It feels like someone threw up a thing where they were showing the best route runners in the NFL, and he wasn't even on the top 10 in the list. And whoever made that list, they're also crazy, just along with not picking Bosa last year for the comeback player of the year, more recognition. CMC gets the snub on the Pro Bowl. Hey, we got to get these things fixed. Hey, if you're the best of the best, man, hey, show some recognition. East Coast or whatever it is, NFL players, whatever, whoever's making these things. We got Baller in the house. Oh, snap. No, I'm just kidding. All right, man. Hey, so let's get into some predictions. Hey, y'all good on time?
Yeah.
Everybody cool
also, Bosa led the league in sacks this year too. So that's another
bang.
accomplishment. Yeah.
Bang. Led the league in sacks. He was one away from tying the record.
Right.
Man, I know he wanted it too. Hey, you know what? Hey, if he already knows in his head. He's like, man, I had 23 this year. I had 23. They took a couple away, whatever, It is what it is. He's a beast. He is like no other. I could only imagine what he might look like if he was, playing in a different era. But yeah, I'm glad he's on our team. Real talk. Hey, man, so let's get into the predictions. I don't have it like on the thing, but hey, we all know the playoff games. I'm pretty sure we all know them. And again, just in case you're just tuning in, I messed up on it. Hamlin is not technically back home, but he is back where home is. Continuous prayers to Hamlin. And I think it's just amazing the way the whole country kind of gravitates toward, this young man and just in prayer and all that stuff. I just had to throw that in there once again. That's how we opened up the show and started it. So, yeah, man. Hey, let's get into these game predictions and let's just start it off with Buffalo. Or you know what? Hold on. First, let me rewind. And I'm glad we're starting over in the playoffs because, we've been getting a little off track. Each of us have been taking turns on kind of messing up, our picks or, we haven't been very consistent, but this is our first year, man. It's a process. It'll get better. But just going back to last week, I was 2-2. Baller was 3-1. Jay in the Bay was 0-4. Oh,
ouch!
Wrong button. I almost hit the no. Jay and Bay was, but
I was thinking
good.
Outside the box.
hey, you win some, you lose some. Hey, but sometimes you got to take those shots in this freaking crazy NFL. We got how do you say it again? I don't want to mess his name up. Sijin? Sijin. Hey, and just like Bay said, man, we welcome. If you're respectful, if you're cool, hey, in the chat, hey, keep it cool with anybody that's a decent person, man, because we're all fans at the end of the day. I got Packer fans that come through, Tampa Bay Buccaneer fans, a guy from the Fijis, Rez comes through. So we welcome it. Real talk. Sejin says, Kelts, where are you from with that accent, bro? That is South Vallejo. That is straight up. That is the hood. My accent came straight from the hood, Sejan. It came straight from the good hood right there. But real talk, it really did, man. I'm born and raised in Vallejo, California. Some people might know, it's like 45 minutes from Sacramento, maybe 45 minutes from San Francisco. It's like right in the middle. Beautiful freaking weather. Yeah, man. I was blessed with the good old accent. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Man, hey, but I get it all the time. You from Texas, or you from, or what else? Oklahoma. I get it. Oklahoma, Texas, all that good stuff. I hope it's a compliment. All right, man. Yeah, so where we at? Let's get into these
Bills
playoff
versus
games.
Dolphins.
Bills versus the Dolphins, and I'll just go first, and I'll just say the Bills, even though the Dolphins won the first game, who knows what's going on with Tua? Prayers to that man to fully recover healthy. The mind is a powerful thing we got up here, so it's got to stay protected. It's crazy, man, to see how many quarterbacks we've went through. I mean, with the NFL set a record for the amount of quarterbacks that were used this year when they're trying to do everything in their power to protect them. So it's kind of crazy, man. Bigger, faster, stronger. Who knows what it is? But I got the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, man. Who do you got, Jay?
Yeah, I got the Bills, man. We don't know if Tua's going to play, as you said, and I think the Bills. I think they're just the better team at this point in the season. But the Finns had a pretty good year. But yeah, Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, I'm rolling with the Bills. I will say if Tua does play, I feel like it could be a high-scoring game and somewhat competitive. If Tua doesn't play, I think this thing is going to be a blowout. Bills got a lot to play for. Obviously, supremely talented team. They were picked by many media members to represent the AFC this year in the Super Bowl. Like I said, yeah, they got a lot to play for, man. They're playing for that 3 and DeMar. That being said, I'm going with the Bills.
All right. Well, that's a clean sweep right there. Bengals and Ravens, and we'll go with Jay.
Yeah, Bengals versus Ravens. I mean, is Lamar Jackson playing? Doesn't seem like it. I think the Bengals right now are just a better team, so I'm gonna take the Bengals.
Yeah, it's interesting. These two teams just played each other this past Sunday, and they're facing off again here. I'm rolling with the Bengals. We don't know who's playing quarterback. Is Lamar Jackson back? Even if he is back, at what degree is Lamar Jackson going to be himself? We know Lamar, best running quarterback ever. He's just so shifty, so dynamic with the ball. But I have to wonder if he does come back, how much will that knee injury affect him in the open field?
Yeah, true. Yeah, I also got the Bengals. Yeah, man, they're just playing lights out. They're right behind the 49ers at, I believe, how many games in a row they got? 8. I think they might, they're arguably the second hottest team in the NFL. They're clicking. The defense is playing well. They got Burrows. They got Chase. A couple other wide receivers. They're slipping my mind right now. Who is it? Higgins? T. Higgins?
T. Higgins, yeah, Jamar Chase. I had to pull up this comment because I agree with 49ers breakdown. The interior D-line pressure concerned, and this is back to the 49ers against the Cardinals. And like I said, J.J. Watt had schooled Spencer Burford on more than one occasion, getting instant pressure. And it's like, yeah, that is a future Hall of Famer, but it's just something to monitor. Also, I noticed some of these stunts, defensive linemen have been running stunts against us. And like Jay was praising the offensive line, and I'm with them. Overall, offensive line has done a good job. But there has been too many free rushers coming in for my liking. And a lot of them come in through these stunts. Watt had another pressure. That's where Purdy had a big sack. He had a big sack and lost, I want to say, like 8 to 10 yards. And that was because Watt came in on a stunt, had a free rush, flushed Purdy out of the pocket. So I agree with 49ers breakdowns. A guy like Chris Jones would feast just like he did in that previous Super Bowl where he was just beating up on run skill, pushing the pocket. So something to monitor. Sorry, we can get back to the picks.
Nah. It's all good. Hey, man, that's a 49ers channel. So I appreciate the comment. Appreciate you throwing it in there because I'm looking at the paper. So, hey, nice way to step in, real talk, because, hey, that is a concern. There are concerns with the deep ball. There is concerns, with when we are facing top-notch defensive linemen, real talk. You're never going to have a perfect team. It is what it is. I think we can overcome it. I'm pretty sure we're going to see Shanahan in his bag, and he's going to do everything he could possibly do to keep it protected. And you know what? Nice sack. Nice way to take a sack, Brock Purdy. When he was running for his life on that one, it's one of the few times typically he gets out and he's making a positive play, or he's even making a positive throwaway. Props to Brock for not trying to do too much and fumbling the ball, not trying to do too much and throwing an interception. So I will say that just smart heads up play by Brock all the way around so far as he's been in there. But I think Shanahan's going to scheme it up. You want to touch on that, Jay, or you want to carry on?
No, that's an astute observation. That is one of the weaknesses of this interior offensive line is going up against elite defensive linemen, especially interior defensive linemen. But I think when you have a mobile quarterback like BP, maybe you can roll them out, try to negate that interior pass rush. You got a good running game. I think the offensive linemen are usually better when they're the aggressor, and usually that's in, run blocking. So I think that'll help negate that. But that's a valid statement. And I think Shanahan's just going to have to scheme guys like when we play Aaron Donald, usually he doesn't have like a great game against us because of Shanahan's scheme. And I think that's what we'll see in the playoffs.
Daddy Brung skill.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So let's get to the next game. Thank you for the comment, man. I love it, Aaron. 49er breakdown. All right, we got, the Jaguars and the Chargers, probably the closest matchup in this thing. Hopefully it shakes up some of our picks on this one. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and go first to try to see if maybe it'll make one of you guys pick the other team. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and this coach, I don't like the Chargers coach, man. His name is slipping me. He just does some I don't know. He just
Brandon
does some
Staley.
Yeah, it just feels like, man, hey, there could be 2 coaches gone in LA this year. Who knows? But yeah, I'm going to say, God, that almost makes me want to change my pick because Peterson's pretty good over there with the Jaguars, and they've been hot. The Jaguars have been hot, and the Jaguars did beat LA, the LA Chargers. They did beat the LA Chargers in LA earlier in the year. I think they beat the brakes off of them. Man, I just love saying that, man. I'm sorry, Jay. Sorry if I took it from you, bro. Hey, the Jaguars, I believe, won like if I'll just guess, it feels like they won like 38-14 or something earlier in the year. I could be off.
Let me double check it. I'll look it up.
I could have swore they beat them pretty bad in LA, so I'm almost changing my mind and almost want to say the Jaguars, but I feel like Herbert is going to finally, I don't believe he's won a playoff game. I think he's finally going to get at least a playoff win, and Trevor Lawrence's time will come at some point in time, but I'm going to take the Chargers for this one. Go Chargers.
Yeah, you were right, man. I just looked up their schedule. The Jaguars beat the brakes off the good old Chargers. 38-10. 38-10. But that could have been, I know the Chargers have dealt with injuries this year, so that could have been, I don't really know who was that quarterback. I know Herbert had some fractured ribs, but I think he might have played through it. But
yeah, he played.
Obviously he wasn't at his best. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. Speaking of, head coach of the year, Doug Peterson may get some consideration. I mean, he kind of turned that team around. Also, we talk about comeback player of the year, maybe
Lawrence.
Exactly,
ETN.
Trevor Lawrence. Yeah. So
sure. I was thinking the running back.
He's
Him
good too.
too. Him
ETN,
too.
ETN is good too.
He
Yeah,
missed
so
all of last year. That's what popped into my mind.
yeah.
I like the
And
Jaguars, man.
and the games that we've already predicted, I
Just
think
pick the
this is
Jags, Kelch. Kelch wants to pick the Jags because
Nah,
I'm picking. Yeah, my
sometimes you
bad.
can't go off your fit. You know, I'm
yeah.
trying to win this thing, man. I really think the Chargers. I like the Jags, but I really think the Chargers are going to get it done.
And I think this is be one of the more competitive games, I think, for
Yeah.
sure. But I like Justin Herbert a little bit better. I thought I saw Mike Williams, or I heard Mike Williams might have got hurt last week or something. So I think his status could be up in the air. I guess we'll see. But I think I'm going to roll with. That's what I'm rolling with.
Good old Arnold Schwarzenegger. Gotta love it. Hey, what up, Shifty? I just seen that right now. What up, Shifty? Yay!
Let's go, Shifty.
All right. I'm not gonna lie. I came in thinking I was gonna pick the Chargers, but this cannot be a clean sweep in favor of the Chargers because I do feel like this is going to be a tight, competitive game. The Jags have been playing a better brand of football. My boy Arden Key, former 49er, he was making plays on Sunday or on Saturday when they played. So Key's looking good. You know, they got the top. They have the Walker, the #1 pick of last year's draft, supremely talented. They got some talent. And on offense, we know, Trevor Lawrence is playing better and better. Travis Etienne, he has too many negative runs for my liking. It's like he tends to try to cut back and break a big one, so tends to lose some yardage on too many occasions. But he is a dynamic running back. Evan Ingram had a really good year. Evan Ingram he's an explosive tight end that you got to keep tabs on. Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, they got some talent on that team. So the fact that you two are picking the Chargers made me pivot and say, hey, let's show Doug Peterson some love. These guys are playing at home. I'm rolling with the Jags.
Well, hey, I don't have the sound effects. Typically, Baller, man, he does a good job with when we do picks, man. He'll throw in some little sound effects and stuff for some of the picks.
Just
so
spice it up, just sprinkle a little something.
Yeah, you gotta. Yep. What is spaghetti without the sauce? Real talk. Hey, man. All right. So we're gonna go with the Vikings and the Giants. I'm gonna go ahead and just start this one off. I'm gonna take the upset with the New York freaking Giants, just because, man, I feel like you got to pick at least one or two underdogs. If you don't, I feel like not every favored team is going to probably do it. So this is one of the underdogs I'm going to go with. I kind of lightweight look at this. This is a prime time game. Even though, hey, props to the Vikings. There's almost no reason why they should not win this game. I'm not thinking they're going to lose. Like, I don't really know how to explain it. If there is an underdog, this is how I say, if there's an underdog that's going to win, I feel like it could be the Giants more than any of the other teams. So I'm going to just take the Giants for this one and let y'all shoot the shot.
Man, Captain Kirk on prime time, but he is at home. And I really don't want to see the Giants win because they just laid down that last game. They didn't do us any favors. But the Vikings defense is terrible. The Giants obviously want to run the ball with Saquon Barkley.
Mm-hmm.
But Kirk Cousins or Daniel Jones, I guess I'm going to lean a little bit towards Captain Kirk. So I'm going to take the Vikings.
Yeah, I'm with Jay. I'm rolling with the Vikings, although, I did pause and have to give the Giants some consideration. Daniel Jones, we know they want to run it with Saquon, but you better keep an eye on Daniel Jones because he can run the ball too and have, an 80-yard rushing kind of game with a touchdown mixed in.
For real.
And, Darius Slayton's a respectable wide receiver. Richie James is former Niner getting some snaps over there. That being said, I think the Vikings are going to put up some points. And I don't know if the Giants are going to keep up.
I was thinking of, I was laughing because I was picturing Daniel Jones when he really did pull like a 70-yarder. And then remember he was stumbling or
yeah, he fell. The turf got him.
Yeah. So it wasn't, you just had me flashing back to that moment and I seen it very clearly. I'm surprised, man. Yeah, it ate him up on that one. Yeah. All right, man. So we're gonna hop over to the Bucks versus the Cowboys, and I'll let you start it off, Jay, just so I don't try to influence nothing. And it has not worked so far, or it didn't work with the Giants. So I'm gonna let you take it off with
Man,
the Bucks
yeah.
and the Cowboys. This is a good one too. This might be the second closest, in my opinion, game, regardless of the Bucks record.
Yeah, I think this is the game I had where I thought the underdog would win. And I think, well, honestly, I don't know who the underdog is. I know the Buccaneers are at home, but I was thinking the Cowboys probably would win this game. I know it's TB12 versus Dak. But I think the Cowboys right now are just a better overall squad than the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers offense has kind of been stagnant this year. I mean, they barely scored over 20 points in multiple games this year. And they're not clicking on all cylinders. Cowboys didn't look good last week, but they didn't have much to really play for. And, you know, the Washington, that was their Super Bowl right there to beat their division rival the last game of the season. And then go to Maui, you know, and enjoy their vacation. But I got the Cowboys winning this game versus TB12 and the Bucks.
Man, this is a tough one, man. I'm waffling here. You know what? I'm going Brady. I'm going Brady. You know, the Cowboys do feel like the better football team, but I think the Bucks defense is going to show up and make things difficult for Dak Prescott. Todd Bowles, you know, the head coach. He's one of the defensive minds that I respect the most in the whole NFL. I think he's going to make it difficult on this Cowboy offense, and Brady can do just enough. Man, the thing that ticks me off about the Bucks, it's so much quick game. The Bucks are just like all quick game. I know Mike Evans caught a couple deep ones, finally got going in this last week, so maybe he can keep that going. I'm just thinking Brady's going to pull a rabbit out of his hat, and they're going to. And as you said, Jay, or you were asking, the Bucks are at home, but the Cowboys are favorites. The Cowboys are 3-point favorites. So I'm gonna roll with the Bucks and the upset.
Yeah, man, I got to stick to what I thought from the very beginning. Jay almost swayed me lightweight, but yeah, I think the Bucks are going to get it done. That's who I felt from the beginning. Yeah, man. So I'm taking Tom Brady. I don't think he isn't going to go out without a fight, man. And if it does come down to a last possession, I can see them kicking a field goal or just getting that last. He's had a couple of games like that, I believe, versus the Packers, and then another time. I believe there was at least 2 times where Tom Brady, right after he got the new girlfriend, got rejuvenated, had a good comeback win, whatever it was, but. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Bucks, man. I don't think he's gonna go down without a fight for sure. And I'd love to see the Cowboys lose just because I don't like them. So, all right, man. Hey, that's just about it. I mean, do I even need to ask about the 49ers and Seahawks? I'm gonna just go ahead and just put it down on paper. We're all taking the freaking 49ers. If you guys want to talk about the reasons why, you can shoot for it. If not, we can wrap this thing up and do it moving.
I got the 49ers 27-17. And I'm looking at Kittle to keep this thing rolling, Christian McCaffrey, and, hey, Deebo Samuel came back from his injury, showed some flashes, had a couple plays, caught a little bubble screen last week, ran it for like 20 yards. So I saw some explosiveness. Deebo Samuel, I think he's going to make a play in this game against the Seahawks.
He's the wild card. I believe. I think he is like kind of haven't heard too much of Deebo lately, and I feel like it's coming. He's
going to remind some people.
Deebo. Deebo. It's coming. It's gonna come. Like I said earlier, it's coming from all angles. I think it's gonna be a beautiful playoff run. I think we're gonna pull it off, y'all. I keep on typing in on anytime I do type in chats, I always say Lombardi number 6 loading. That's kind of my little rally cry. Typically it's been Quest for 6. I've never liked Quest for 6. It reminds me of Zelda, and nothing against Zelda. I think Zelda when I was a kid, it was pretty cool. But it just the quest. I don't know. It sounds a little. It doesn't sound football like to me. Like it doesn't have that tough football type of sound. The quest.
Yeah, it sounds more Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. And nothing against that stuff, but in football, I'm just gonna
I
stick
like Lord
with.
of the Rings.
I'm gonna stick with Lombardi 6's loading, man. It's loading up. It's in progress. Who you got, Jay? Or how about score prediction? We'll just do that
Score
since
prediction, yeah, man. I got the Niners beating the brakes off them good old Seahawks. I think it's going to be 31-13. I just think the Niners are going to run for at least 175 rushing yards. I can't wait to see that gum chewer pissed off on that Seahawks sideline. That's one of my joys. I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, man, the Niners, we're going to win this game for sure.
That man's about to rip his shirt off. You see Pete Carroll just pull Incredible Hulk with DK Metcalf. Didn't someone put something up where they were all in the cold or whatever with their shirts off? Like, man, we broke a lot of teams this year. Yeah. We done. Matt Rule got fired, and then we get CMC. Kingsbury gets fired. You got the Rams over there, licking their wounds.
Hey, another stat. Then whichever team, every team that plays the Niners, they lose the next week. So they're like 0-15, versus the Niners this season, which is an incredible stat. I've never even heard of that stat,
never.
This season. So that's an incredible stat. I don't think that's a fluke. So
I wonder if it's ever happened before. Like, I wonder who. Yeah. There's got to be some guy. There's some guys that have probably broken almost all the stuff down since whenever. So
that'd be a lot of research. Just quick, talk. Melissa says, are any of you live streaming the game? Are you live streaming, Coates?
It's always up in the air for me, man. Okay. It's our gal. It's always up in the air. My schedule is so hard to schedule with my family, but if you know what, if I have the ability, I will be. I'll stream. Man, that's tough. That's playoffs. See, I got to think about it because some games, like it was fun to do. It was fun to do the Cardinals game because it didn't feel like there was a lot to play for. It just it depends on me. Sometimes I get so locked in and fired up. I don't want to hear nothing. I want to be quiet, alone, and then some. It depends on my mood, I guess. Who knows? I might be so fired up. I know when the playoffs come rolling around, it's a whole different breed. I know I did the Packers game last year. That was the first game I ever live streamed. And man, I had a lot of people leaving my chat and losing the faith. And I'm over here, hold on. Hey, it's going to be good. Like, I was quiet, but I was like, it's going to be good. And then right before that kick, the punt, I was just like, we're about to return this punt right here. We're about to return this freaking punt right. And sure enough, there's it's a block. I like.
Speaking of Jordan Willis, man.
Hey, let's go.
Yeah, he's been pretty good the last few games for sure. He's been getting pressure. He had a strip fumble sack. Even it was against David Blau, but still, man, he's still performing. And man, that's one thing we talked about. What we remember from this season is just a deep roster at multiple levels on the squad. So that's a testament to that right there.
What does Shanahan call him? The silent assassin?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Willis, man, and Hufanga. Man, that was beautiful. But I will be on, I know for sure I'm going to be on a show tomorrow morning at 8:30 in the morning with Ryan G. Hensley. You might have seen him over there on a Grant Cohn show. So I'm going to be over there in the morning. And then also Wednesday night, I'm going to be on with Niner Sickness Podcast, Niner Beto, over there doing some playoff predictions, kind of like what we just did here. Who knows? I might just pick I probably won't pick the Giants on that one. I don't know yet, but well, we'll see. Come through.
You're hedging, Kelch? You can't hedge, Kelch.
I don't know how this stuff. Hey, I'm brand new, bro. I'm brand new. I don't even know what hedging is, bro. So you got to lace me up on that. Hey, it's my rookie season, man. I'm still learning. So
you're doing great, man. I had a blast. I've had fun all season. 49ers get this win so we can continue straight out of the Bay rolling. I got to jump, fellas. So I'm going to say I'm gonna say thank you to all you guys. Thank you to the chat. Check me out. Subscribe, BayAreaBaller18. I'm
Links
gonna
in
have
the
some guests
description.
on, and we'll be talking 49ers, talking ball. So I appreciate it.
You
Shout out
going
to you
live
fellas.
tomorrow, Bay Area Baller? You going live tomorrow?
No, I don't think I'm going live tomorrow,
Okay.
but that's why you got to subscribe, turn the notifications on, because stuff starts popping off,
Right.
and you never know when it's about to happen. Probably a call-in show. I'm due for a call-in show
Hey,
to
I just took
gauge
notes.
the fan base.
I'm taking notes, Baller. That's
Absolutely.
exactly how I need to say. Hey, you never know, so you got to hit that bell because it just might pop off when you least expect it. So stay ready, so you never got to get ready. Sugar free.
Absolutely.
Facts.
You have a good night.
All right, fellas. Thanks.
All right, my man. All right, we're about to be dipping up out of here real soon. I got to give my score prediction. You know, I didn't even know. I just wrote it down, and so I'm flowing with it. I'm going hard in the paint, man. I'm saying 37-10. I'm going all the way, man. I think we're gonna get it done like that. Melissa says Baller J streaming. Hey, you know what, Melissa? I might do it. I might do it just because. Hey, I might have to throw up something in the community tab and see how many people want it to happen, and maybe I'll do it.
You should get a lot of traction, man. A lot of people, not everyone can watch the game, and they love to hear content creators, broadcast the game. So yeah, man. I won't be able to do it. I can't. But yeah, there's tons of content creators who are doing it. But yeah, Kels, man, you might have to do it, man.
Hey, and if I don't, check out Shifty. I know Shifty's doing a lot of that. Shifty, I believe Niner Sickness as well.
Niner Sickness, 49ers Ultimate Report, Rombo. Like there's a lot of people.
Does Rombo do it? Rombo does the live stream? Okay, wow.
Yeah.
I should know that. Hey, but anyways, hey, we appreciate everybody in the chat. We always do. Bang, bang, Niner gang. Let's get it. Let's go. Any final thoughts, Jay?
Absolutely, man. It's like we spoke about the 49er season, but we got to talk about the straight out of the Bay season. You know, it's our inaugural season coming together as a crew straight out of the Bay. So we appreciate everyone's supporting the channel, our individual channels, and of course the Straight Out of the Bay YouTube channel. And like Kels mentioned earlier, it's no fun talking to the camera, by yourself. It's always great to have a lively chat. I wish I could name everyone in the chat who came through, but just know we appreciate you guys' support. And we'll definitely be here, next Monday night, same time, 8:15 on all our respective channels, plus the Straight Out of the Bay YouTube channel. So yeah, just appreciate all the support, and go Niners. Looking forward to next week.
We even appreciate you, Romelia. We really do. Romelia, Seijin, Romelia. If y'all don't know, that's a Rams content creator. So go check him out, man. I haven't checked him out a lot, because I'm a 49er. That just is what it is. Maybe I should start checking more teams out. Seijin as well. I don't know if Seijin got a channel or not, but hey, respect, RIP. I thought he said respect Sean McVay. No, he said the opposite. He said RIP. He said it is a wrap. He said it's done. He said it's well done. Well done. All right, man. So I think that's it. Peace out, y'all. Hey, the link is in the description to Amin the Dream as well. Baller, Jay in the Bay on all channels. Hook it up. Stay faithful. Rise up. Yee.